I was actually shocked at first, and then I was able to put two and two together, and my suspicions of him kind of made sense since I had lived in the neighborhood. When I first moved in, I was warned by all the neighbors on the street that he was a troubled child, that he had vandalized the house that I was moving into, and that I should keep an eye out for him.
Was there ever some incident with fire where you had to interact with this family? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I was actually at work when I got a call from my fiance telling me that it was an empty lot, a wooded area next to our house had caught on fire, and that Tyler and my oldest son, actually both of my sons and a couple of the neighbors' children were there, but that it was actually my son that had lit the fire. And after talking with Tyler and my son, and finding out that Tyler had gave him the lighter and had told him where to light, and Tyler was a very flat-lined person. Like he never showed emotion, whether it was happy or sad. So once I had scalded him, as you would say, I could see that it hadn't done anything. When he looked at me in my eyes, and I could just tell that he didn't care, that he enjoyed, what had happened, but he was more of the type of, where it confused me is he wasn't very aggressive to any of the other kids whatsoever, and he was bigger than all of the kids that played in the neighborhood. He was the biggest one, and I was more worried about him doing something to the children, and instead I had to be more worried about him, having them do things. He was more the type that would want to sit back and watch things happen and really not have his hands in it.
You said that you saw something in his eyes. Tell us about that.
It was very hollow, is the best expression I can put it. It went along with his emotion. I have pictures of him and my children, and at no time would you ever see any emotion out of him, whether it be something he enjoyed or you talking to him about something he enjoyed. I don't think I ever seen him smile. And when he was in trouble, he wasn't like most kids, will put their heads down, will feel bad. There was never any remorse or conscience when you looked into his eyes, just as there is on TV. I mean, I hope I would hate to think it's only me that sees it.
No, it's very obvious. In fact, we could show the picture of his eyes again, and here he is with his family in happier times. And from what I've read, these parents were good parents who did the best they could. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I met his father, it was after the fire incident, and I was very upset, of course, especially after finding out that he was involved and that he had actually involved my child into it. So I said some things to him that I felt would be better if I walked to his house and let his father know I had said and what had happened, instead of letting him explain it and then maybe his father come into my house. I just felt it was better I walked down with him. So that's what I did. And when his father met me at the door, I explained what had happened, and he apologized. He, told Tyler to go inside and to go into his room, and reassured me that he'd take care of it. And I also told him at that time that there was a lot of people, on the street that worried about him. When he would walk around the neighborhood all the time, you'd see him out on the street, and just his demeanor made you want to look out your window and see what he was doing.
How old was he when this whole incident happened, where he got your kids in trouble and then you walked to his house and talked to his dad? How long ago was this?
3 years.
Wow. And so this was going on for that long. I know he dropped out of high school. Unbelievable. Jason, thank you so much for giving us some insight